Hello, class. We were studying the lesson Interdependence in Nature. In part 1 of this lesson, we have studied how living things are dependent on the non living beings. So, let us continue the lesson and study about the interdependence of plants and animals in nature. How the plants will depend on animals and vice versa. That is, how the animals will depend on plants. So, do you think the plants can survive on themselves without depending on animals? No, isn't it? The same question goes on with the animals. Do you think the animals can live as it is without depending on the plants? No. So, by now, you all know about photosynthesis, you all know about respiration. So, from all these processes that is going on in the environment, we all know that plants and animals depend on each other. Neither plants nor animals can survive without the other. They need each other. So, how do you think the animals are dependent on plants? So, animals are dependent on plants for food, for shelter, and for oxygen. So, how the animals depend on plants for food? You all know about the three groups of animals, that is herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Isn't it? Yes. So herbivores are the animals which will eat the plants only. Plants and the plant products we can see. So coming to carnivores, those are the animals which will eat the herbivores. And coming to omnivores, these group of animals will eat both the flesh as well as the plant eating animals. So now you all know that herbivores, it may be like cows, goats, or giraffes, will eat the plants. So thus they are directly dependent on the plants for food. Whereas carnivores and omnivores, carnivores such as tigers, lions, or wolves, or it may be omnivores like cat, dog, or the human beings, will have to depend indirectly on plants for food. Since carnivores and omnivores are directly dependent on the herbivores for food, they are indirectly dependent on plants for food. So, how the animals depend on plants for shelter? How do you think they are dependent on plants for shelter? You might have seen many animals, small insects, or the birds living on the trees. They build their nest, birds will build their nest, squirrels, monkeys, insects will live on the trees. So, they are dependent on the plants or the trees for shelter. How do you think animals depend on plants for oxygen? Already you have studied about photosynthesis, where during the process of photosynthesis, plants will release oxygen into the environment. This oxygen is used by all the living organisms, that is, the animals. Animals, human beings, or the plants also will make use of oxygen in order to survive. So, animals take in oxygen during respiration. By now, we all know that animals depend on plants for food, shelter, and oxygen. So, let us study how the plants are dependent on the animals. All the plants are dependent on the animals for carbon dioxide, for reproduction, and also to make the soil fertile, thereby helping the growth of the plants. How the plants will use carbon dioxide which is produced by the animals, how it will make use of carbon dioxide? Already you all know about photosynthesis. During the process of photosynthesis in plants, what they will do? They will make use of carbon dioxide. So, animals during the process of respiration will leave out carbon dioxide into the nature. So, this carbon dioxide is used by the plants for photosynthesis. Plants will depend on animals for reproduction. You all know about butterflies and honeybees. They sit on the flowers, isn't it? When they sit on the flowers, they help in pollinating the flowers, thereby help in the formation of seeds. So, animals such as butterflies and honeybees will help the plants for pollinating the flowers. Many varieties of plants grow on a large area. You know why? Because birds and animals will eat the fruits of the plants, thereby they will scatter the seeds of the fruits in large area or in different regions. So, animals will help in pollinating flowers as well as in order to disperse the seeds also, thereby plants can grow on a large area. Now let us study about living things which help in making the soil fertile. All the animals which live inside the soil will make the soil loose. That means the soil particles will become loose when the animals move inside the soil. For example, you all know that the earthworm will live inside the soil. Thereby, when it moves inside the soil, soil particles becomes loose. Thereby, air can enter the soil very easily. And air is required by the plants for its growth. So thereby the animals living inside the soil will help in the growth of the plants. So many fungi as well as bacteria will help in decaying the dead living things or the dead animals. Dead plants will be decayed by the decomposers, we say. Decomposers are the bacteria and fungi which lives in the soil. So when the dead living things are decayed, when they rot, they get added to the soil and it becomes fertile. It becomes rich humus or nutrient rich humus which gets mixed up with the soil. So thereby the soil helps in the growth of the plants. So now you all know how the animals will help the plants for its survival. So plants will use carbon dioxide which is produced by the animals. Plants depend on animals for reproduction, and living things will help the soil in order to make fertile. Thereby, when soil becomes fertile, plants can grow very easily in the soil. So let us study about the food relationships. How the plants and animals or other organisms are dependent on each other. That is called as food chain. A food chain exists in nature. In any habitat, in any living environment where living things and non-living things are there, we can see a food chain. That means how one animal becomes the food of the other. You all know that there is interdependence in nature, interdependence between plants and animals in nature. So, the food passes from one living thing to another. So, what is food chain then? How can you define a food chain? A series of living things which shows the eating habitat is known as the food chain. A series of living things showing which one eats which is called a food chain. So food chain always starts with the plants because we have already studied that all the animals are directly or indirectly dependent on plants for food. So, all the animals, including human beings, have to depend on plants for food. That is why in nature, plants are considered as producers. Because plants can prepare their own food, at the same time, they serve food for other animals also. That is why they are the producers in nature. Then, after producers, a food chain is carried on with the primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. Then we have the decomposers. So, what are primary consumers? Primary consumers are the herbivores which will depend on the producers for food. Herbivores are the plant eating animals which will eat the plants or the producers. So all the herbivores are the primary consumers. Then who are the secondary consumers? Carnivorous animals are the secondary consumers which will eat the primary consumers. Then who are the decomposers? You all know that when the animals or the plants die, they join the soil. Many microorganisms are there. It may be fungus or it may be bacteria which eat the dead and decaying matter in the soil or in the nature. So these dead and decaying matter are eaten away by the fungi or bacteria which are considered as decomposers. Thereby, these dead and decaying matter are converted into humus which is used by the plants once again. So that is why in a food chain, we can say that there are producers, consumers and decomposers. See the picture of the food chain here, food relationship in nature. See, these are the producers. All the plants are the producers. We have a deer here. So those are the primary consumers which eat the producers. Deer is eaten by a carnivore, that is the tiger. It is the secondary consumer. So these primary consumer and secondary consumer, when they die, are added up to the soil. So all the dead animals, including animals or it may be plants, join the soil and decomposers help them in converting into humus. So decomposers like the bacteria and fungi convert the dead and decaying matter into useful substances, that is humus, which are added up to the soil. Thereby from the soil the plants make use of these humus or the nutrients, helps in the growth of the plants. So we can see a food chain in the nature. So food chain includes producers, consumers and decomposers, which are dependent on each other. So we can say that there is interdependence in nature. Did you all understand the lesson, children? Hope everybody understood the lesson. Read the textbook and you have to go through the notes also.